Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again with another view from the van. I hope everybody's okay. You should be, because Harvey Barnes is on Tyneside. Yeah, the Geordie Pigeon has done it again, captured him at St James's Park, going through his media stuff, his media commitments, his interviews, his photos holding the shirt and all that sort of thing. So it is a matter of time. The old saying, it's imminent. Here we go, according to Fabrizio Romano, who said it this morning. Keith Downey, who was talking about this deal late last night, saying, you know, it's a done deal. It's a player that Eddie Howe very much likes. And I think crucially for Eddie Howe, given the fact that, you know, the signings haven't come as early as he would have liked, it's a sort of a ready-made meal version of a football player. It's an IKEA flat pack version of a footballer, in that you can get them in. It's exactly what you want. It's quick, it's easy, you know what you're going to get. There's no messing around, there's no real amount of integration, there's no adapting to the league, there's no, you know, oh, he's good with this but he needs to do that in order to fit in, you know, to the Newcastle United system. He is literally the ready-made perfect player to be able to come in, hit the ground running, you know, and start playing for Newcastle United. So absolutely amazing bit of business as far as I'm concerned. A player who's got about a goal every 4 games for Leicester in the Premier League. Leicester team who haven't done great things recently. To get those sort of you know, that goal return from, you know, a midfielder, a wide player, an attacking player, whatever you want to call it. You know, he's certainly not a striker. To get those sort of numbers back is absolutely fantastic. He is an assist machine as well, so, you know, from a statistical point of view, we're definitely upgrading from St Maximin. I'll get to that in a little bit. But look, 1 in 4, you know, for Leicester up in the Premier League. About 1 in 3 when he's been in the Football League, when he's, you know, he's been there. West Brom, Milton Keynes Dons, old school Wimbledon, of course. And Barnsley as well. Now, I've spoken to a lot of people of Barnsley persuasion today about the lad, and they've got nothing but positives to say about him, you know, as a footballer on the football pitch. I've obviously looked back at a lot of Leicester stuff over the last 24 hours or so, and I'm impressed. It's, you know, it's not a case of all scrappy goals and this, that and the other. He has scored some spectacular goals, there's no doubt about that. And yeah, it very much whets the appetite in to see how he will fit into this Newcastle United machinery. We have such an abundance of high quality, high class midfielders. I honestly believe it's not an overreaction to say we've got one of the best group of midfielders, one of the best in the entire, you know, Premier League. It is literally so well stocked when you've got the likes of Tonali, fantastic signing, Joe Linden, you've got Bruno, you've got Willock, you're adding in the likes of Harvey Barnes, you know, Miguel Almiron, the list goes on and on and on. Anthony Gordon, who I thought looked absolutely fantastic against Rangers, looked great whilst away playing with England, and really looks to have benefited from the extra fitness work over the summer. So yeah, a fantastic pool of players Harvey Barnes is coming into. Can't wait to see when it's all officially announced. You know, he's going through the medical and stuff as well, but, you know, they must be convinced. It must be like 99% of the way done if they're doing all of the other media type stuff as well. His agent, pardon me, his agent was actually on Tyneside yesterday, according to a report, I believe it was from Craig Hope, who said his agent was up here and actually looking at houses, looking at property, lining things up for him, you know, for his client Harvey Barnes to be able to go and have a look at. So you knew things were moving at a pace when that is happening. And again, it's you know, it's a good player. Like I said, there's no real integration time. There's no like adjusting to fit into how Newcastle United play, because how he plays is already pretty much very much like how Newcastle United will want him to. It's not a case of, like we've said, Maximin, he was fantastic going forward with his tricks and his flicks, etc, etc, but the defensive side needed work and needed coaching, you know, so he had to change how he played. There's none of that with Harvey Barnes. It is just like I touched on before, that ready meal type, chuck it in the microwave, couple of minutes and bang, that is done type of signing. you know, it has split some of the the fan base up, but you know, for me, in the time that the new owners have been at the club, in the time that Eddie Howe has been at the club, they have got a lot more right than they have got wrong. They've not made many mistakes with regards to anything, especially with regards to transfers. How many mistakes have they actually made? Not many. They are, you know, there's not many mistakes, is there? 99% of the time, the signings have been absolutely fantastic. They've been well scouted, well thought about. They've got the right mentality, and there are players who are desperate to represent the football club. You know, there's not a case of having to drag players against the wheel or just throw a load of money at them in order to get to come to Tyneside. These are players who are desperate to play for Newcastle United. In the case of Harvey Barnes, you know, West Ham have been, you know, strongly linked with them. There's been a whole load of other clubs. Spurs earlier on in the summer were putting together a double deal for Maddison and Barnes, but Newcastle United have always sort of held that trump card of Harvey Barnes wanting to come to Newcastle United, wanting to play his football at St James's Park, and that is exactly where he will be applying his trade next season. So absolutely fantastic, and you know, it'll probably be the first of maybe another two on top of him coming through the door. You would think relatively soonish. I know Tino from down at Southampton continues to be linked to Newcastle United. I think that would be a cracking piece of business, I really do, after all the hype prior to his injury, obviously, around the lad. But unfortunately, you know, as players come in, players do leave, and a player is close to leaving. Alan St Maximin is close to going to Al Hilal. That will finance this move and potentially the extra move or two also on top. Newcastle United are getting very favourable terms. A lot of the fee paid up front, and the Saudi Pro Club has moved from its initial stance of around about 25 million euros. They've increased it by around about 110 on top. 5 million of that is with regards to guaranteed extra payments. This is not performance related or anything else like that. It's guaranteed payments over the course of the next season or two. So there will be extra money to come in off St Maximin. They were offered 25, we wanted 35. The compromise, the middle ground has been found. You know, in this way, they sort of offer an initial lump of 30 million, say, and the other 5 million over the course of the next season. But it is a guarantee for Newcastle United, so it's not a case of, well, if they win the league or if they qualify for this or if they do such and such in a cup competition, then we'll get some extra money. It is guaranteed payments and guaranteed dates. So that is another thumbs up for the hierarchy at Newcastle United. No longer are we that fucking Labrador dog who used to sort of roll over and scratch my stomach, scratch my belly type job. We are now deadly serious when it comes to business and getting the best deal for Newcastle United, whether that's incomings, because I still think the fee for Harvey Barnes is an absolute steal when you consider it with the likes of the Harvey Barnes. When you consider Harvey Barnes compared to your Declan Rice's, I think it's an absolute cracking bit of business. The market is inflated like it's never been inflated before, so still to be able to get players of Harvey Barnes' quality, of Harvey Barnes' level of assists and goals for the money that we've paid for him, I think is good business in today's modern market and modern game. So great business, transfers coming in. And we're certainly not being mugged when it comes to selling players and players moving on. Great players come, great players go. I am disappointed that St Maximin is going, because I'm a firm believer you keep your better players and you get rid of the players that aren't so good. But sometimes, and certainly with FFP and the way that it's designed, it's not a case of fair at all. There's literally very little in financial fair play that is fair. We've got the world's richest owners, but we're not the world's richest club. The two separate, totally and utterly separate, different things, and it's so frustrating. It's designed to keep the status quo as the status quo, the elite being the elite. And in order to circumvent that, in order to get around that, you've got to box clever, think clever, act cleverly, and also very, very strongly with regards to transfers coming in and business coming out. And sometimes to make an omelette, you've got to break a few eggs. And I think that's one of these situations as it is now, because Eddie Howe spoke, didn't want to lose St. Maximin, but you know, in order to make that omelette, he understands that he does have to crack a few eggs, and that's where we are at the moment. You know, ideally, it would be better. I would say it would be better to get rid of players who have no future, the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Isaac Hayden, your Carl Darlow's of the world. It would be better to get rid of those, and there are probably another 5 or 6 others on top. Well, in fact, I know there is another 5 or 6 on top. Rather than sell one of your more prized assets. But you know, thinking about the bigger picture, and you know, obviously trusting the owners and the manager and stuff like that, that's what we've got to do. These things happen, great players move on, other great players come in, so it will make us stronger, because we'll get Harvey Barnes in and we will get 1 or 2 others, because we can play around with that you know, wealth of money coming in. We can use that and spread payments out over seasons, when hopefully our commercial side will be even better. So, you know, it stings a little bit seeing St. Maximin go, a player in his prime, who I still think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg on, to be honest, with regards to his talent and his potential. But it's happened, it's done, he is going, Harvey Barnes is coming in. I'm delighted with the business. You know, for Harvey Barnes coming in, really excited, and he will join up with the rest of the lads to take part in the summer series for Newcastle United out in the States. It'll be too late for this weekend's game against Aston Villa, but certainly for maybe the second game against Chelsea, he could be involved, possibly an option on the bench to integrate him. He's going to get to know Eddie Howe and the coaches, he's going to get to know the rest of the lads as well. It's the perfect opportunity, and then we will get the chance to have a look at him in obviously the Cellar Cup, which will be at St James's Park very, very shortly. So happy days, hopefully 1 or 2 more as well through the door before we get to that Cellar Cup, because the squad, no doubt about it, still does need work. It still does need you know, balancing out and so on and so forth. Hopefully Joe Linton will join in with the rest of the group as well over the next couple of days. Again, I can't really see him playing this weekend, but again, for that second game against Chelsea, watch out Chelsea fans, because big Joe Linton, he'll be on his way alongside Harvey Barnes. So it's exciting times being a Newcastle United supporter. I just can't wait for the season you know, to get here. I think the Rangers game gave everybody a little taste into what sort of European competition could be and will be like again. Cannot wait. Champions League, another fantastic season, and who knows what lies in a wait for Newcastle United. But that's enough for me for the time being. Anything else, more breaks, I'll be back, so click subscribe. Also click on the bell icon as well, and hit the thumbs up as well. Really appreciate it. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't make us anything at all. It just you know, it helps push the algorithm, it helps get the videos noticed, it helps get the channel noticed. We're trying to push it over 2,000 because we've got 123,000 across the board, and we're just really trying to get YouTube along its you know, along its way. So we do appreciate your ongoing support. There's lots of fantastic content creators out there and stuff like that, far better than ourselves, so we do appreciate everybody's support, everybody who's hit the subscribe button, everybody who watches the videos, and everybody who comments down below. Let me know what you think about Harvey Barnes coming in. Let me know what you think about St Maximin going out, again for similar monies, but obviously we can work and do things with that money that's coming in from Saudi Arabia as well. So let me know about all of that down below, and anything else that you want to see on Magpie 24/7. Got some new intros, new graphics, and new look coming for the new season. That's coming along in the background really, really nicely. But in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned. I want to get back to work and get sorted, and I'll speak to you later.